Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another tank review. Today we are looking at the WZ111, the tier 8 gift or premium Chinese heavy tank. So this was given to players for completing some set of missions. I don't even remember what they were, but a lot of people got it, and even if you didn't get it, I guess it would be useful to do a review to know how to beat this thing. Well, armor-wise, it's pretty damn standard for Chinese heavy tank. You have a pretty decent upper plate. In this case, it is 120 sloped at around 50 degrees. It gives you around 220 effective armor in the upper plate. It depends obviously on the angle you face it. You cannot angle this because it does have the pike nose like the IS-3 or the WZ1114, which is pretty much what this hull is from. It's maybe slightly weaker. You have a huge lower plate like every Chinese heavy tank in the game because fuck Chinese heavy tanks. Extremely weak as well. Everything is gonna pen this, so you want to deny anybody a chance to shoot this. There's nothing in that you will face that will struggle to pen your lower plate. Turret-wise though, it's pretty good. Have a really good gun mantlet and behind 250mm gun mantle you still have 150mm of armor. Around the gun it's slightly weaker, but I would not recommend shooting this gun mantlet at all. You have this extremely good turret cheeks as well. 230, it's really well sloped as well, so it's a really good turret frontally. Some problems that you might find is if people shoot you around this area, the shot can ricochet into the hull and do damage that way. It doesn't happen very often, but when it happens, it's kind of annoying. Then you have the two cupolas. They're pretty damn big and quite easy to penetrate, so you don't really want to sit still and... Well, you can't really sit still and expect to bounce shots with the turret all the time. People are going to hit those cupolas and they are going to pen you. Tanks that are taller than you will be able to shoot in here as well, and there's no armor on the top of the roof, so you got to be careful of that as well. Side armor, you have the classic Russian idiot-proofed side armor. Diamond-shaped hull with some spaced armor means that it's sometimes better to show your side than it is to go out frontally, which is just like silly, but that's how the game works. So you have that. It's not like as good as on the IS-3 or not even near as good as the IS-7, but it will save you every once in a while. The actual side armor is 80, so some side scraping can be done, but the front-mounted turret doesn't really cope well with that. You can't try to backward side scrape, but the gun depression to the back is extremely poor, so I would not recommend it too much. That being said, let's go to the replay, I'm pretty sure. So here's the replay, but before any action starts, as always, let's take a look at some stats. I'm going to be kind of comparing it to the IS-6 and the 112. So first of all, 1550 health, as healthy as the IS-6, slightly more health than the 112. You have 520 horsepower engine, which is the worst out of all of them, giving this thing quite poor power to weight, but at the same time it has better terrain resistance than both of them. So the difference between the 111 and the 112 is barely there, but the IS-6 runs in front of both of these. You have top speed limit of 50 kilometers an hour, the best out of the bunch, of beating the IS-6 by quite a margin, with that thing only being able to go 35 forwards. Traverse speed 26, pretty damn standard. And when we come to the gun, we find that it is the same crappy 122 D25TA that the 112 uses. Slightly better reload than on the 112, worse reload than on the on the IS-6. It is pretty damn bad as a gun. 175 pen, really healthy amount of damage, 390 per shot, accuracy 0.46 and aiming time 3.4. The same crappy gun that pretty much every other heavy tank like this uses at the tier. And the only real advantage that the 112 and the 111 have over the IS-6 is the view range, 380 versus 350 of the IS-6. Not that big of a deal because these tanks do not want to shoot anything that is further than 2 meters in front of them, because these guns are extremely unreliable. And yeah, the view range is nice, but you don't really need it anyways. So an extremely slow start for me for this game. Nobody really of the enemy team played 8-9 line, so we are going to the middle now. Really slow start. You don't really usually have games like these where the enemies completely ignore an entire flank, but whatever, that doesn't really matter. Also note that this replay is from 9.8.1, so there might be some replay glitches. I think I noticed 2 at least, so keep that in mind as well. But yeah, to sum the stats up, it is pretty much exactly like the 112, with the exception of having the pike nose, so you cannot angle the frontal plate, and it has slightly better gun stats, and that's pretty much the difference. It is still way worse than IS-6 in pretty much every way, apart from the upper plate, turret armor, and the view range, but the IS-6 is just more all-rounded and will perform, in my opinion, is just better on average pretty much in every game. And now finally we jump into the action, the first enemies, and here's the replay glitch I was talking about. I actually could see the VK medium tank in front of me. He's still spotted, but I don't know why the replay didn't register that. Like, that VK was peeking, and that's why I shot. I didn't shoot, like, nothing for no reason. I actually saw the guy, but that's like a really weird glitch. I didn't hit him though, so it didn't matter. The VK dies, and now the IS-6. I have pretty good shots into his ass. I know I see the IS-3 behind me, but I really kind of wanted to aim this shot because this gun doesn't really like to be sloppy, and now I don't think I can really get away from this. I need to kind of choose, and I didn't choose very wisely. I did get shot by the Bulldog and by the IS-3, so pretty poor timing on my part. I need to turn my front towards the IS-3 and try to get away from the Bulldog. Not gonna be sitting in that open field for the entire time anyways. But now, bouncing shot with my side because, you know, armor and shit. IS-3 shows his side kindly as well, and I do not bounce off that. Not the greatest start. The Bulldog only did shoot me once though, so it wasn't the worst either. Equipment I would recommend to use on this tank and any tank like this is bird stabs, rammer, and the third equipment piece is kind of up to you. If you're happy with the aiming stats, you go ventilation, and if you're not happy with the aiming stats, you go gun length drive. I'm pretty sure I'm running it with ventilation. And the crew skills, as this is a premium tank, don't really matter because you're not really gonna use the crew for just this tank anyway, so you just take whatever you have and slam in here. And now, not really working in the comfort zone of this tank, so I am forced to aim quite a bit, but I do get quite lucky with that fire. He did have a fire extinguisher, but it was a manual one, so he did burn for quite a bit there. So now my options are to either go down there or to stay here and wait till the KV4 spots. It is kind of tricky to decide which one to do, but I don't think I want to really go down because I'm gonna reduce my chances of being able to shoot into the cap circle for quite a while, and I will be exposed to getting shot in the side by the SDA-1 and maybe the Borsig if he goes there as well. So for now I'm just gonna stay here and wait. And besides, the Bulldog is going and spawning for us anyways. I'm not really sure what this enemy Bulldog was trying to do. He did pen me, and I had to return fire after he fired because he was moving backwards, so the best chance of hitting him was just in that moment. And I did hit him, as you might have noticed. And again, I have to kind of start to be careful about what is happening behind me because they will try to flank me sooner or later. But first things first, I need to reset the cap, and waiting for the Bulldog to just get in there and spot whoever is capping. Spots the MT-25, but I don't have a shot on it. And yeah, I'm pretty sure this is another replay bug. The T-37 got spotted once I started aiming at him and not a moment later. Second fire in the same game on the light tank is pretty funny. But hey, comrade, 122mm gun, it's good, yeah. It's made from Russia, it's good. Now I did cover my back there a bit. I'm not really too sure if I'm gonna get to shoot that MT-25 at any point. I'm kind of looking for it, but at the same time, it's not really that big of a deal for me to try to shoot that guy. And it seems that he's gonna die now anyways, so I can free up myself to do something else. I want to check what is going on behind me. And I don't really want to get exposed on that open field behind me. Who knows where the Borsig is. The STA-1 gets spotted. He's not that much of a threat on my 500 health. And the Bulldog here is the one that was saying that he might be going to flank me. And you can see the difference. IS-6 would never have been penned by these shots. Well, never say never, but it would be way harder for this guy to pen me like this. And he did 400 damage to me just because this lower plate is made out of utter trash. it is extremely weak to fight light tanks, and that's the difference between this and an IS-6. IS-6 can stand its ground better against tanks with bad penetration, and tanks with really good penetration is gonna pen this hull like cheese anyway, so the difference is not that big, and you should really not really look into these Chinese tanks that much when the IS-6 is still available to buy. It is just, in my opinion, flat out better. Now, another sniping shot here on the VK3601. Don't really aim it fully, but, you know, 122 guns, super accurate. He's trying to get this VK again. This time it is a way shittier shot as he is held down, but STA1 tries to rush me. I'm not really sure what his play was, but I managed to snap my turret around and get rid of him in time. And now the Borsig gets spotted as well. He is quite a ways away, and again, like, this view range is better than on the IS-6, but at the same time, like, I'm never gonna rush the Borsig anyway, so it doesn't really matter that I have those extra 30 meters of view range, because the view range really matters only if you slam optics on your tanks, and tank like this cannot afford to slam optics on. But the VK dies now anyway, so we should be able to just push forwards and go for the Borsig. One thing I did not mention yet is that this tank does get heat rounds as its premium ammo. It is way better than the IS-6's APCRs. It does get more pen, and it can actually pen E75s and ST1s quite efficiently compared to the IS-6 APCR. But now another long-range shot, and 122mm gun, comrade! And here's the endplate, shitload of tokens, Ace Tanker, Steel Wall, Defender, and High Caliber, 4,122 experience with the double, 127,000 credits, so this does make money like any other tier 8 premium. 1,374 base experience with 5 kills, 4,492 damage done. Really slow start to the game, but managed to take control of the middle of the map, defend the cap, and win it in the end. As a conclusion on how good this tank is, well, it is still worse than the IS-6, but it is better than the 112, and since most people got this for doing some missions and not actually paying money for it, you can't really complain. I would just not really recommend anyone to buy a 112. That's all there is to really say. Hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you on the next one.